Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, show number 687. Thank you for joining me. This is the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, helping you celebrate Celtic culture through music. I am Mark Gunn. I'm a Celtic musician and podcaster, and this show is for fans of Celtic music. It is here to build a diverse Celtic community and help the incredible artists who so generously share their music with you. If you hear music you love, please email the artists. Let them know you heard them on the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. Musicians depend on your generosity to keep making music. So please to find a way to support them, buy a CD, album, pen, shirt, digital download, or join their community on Patreon. You can find a link to all the artists in the show notes, along with show times, when you visit our website at CelticMusicPodcast.com. So this is the final Celtic Top 20 episode of 2024. There are more episodes coming to finish out the year, including a Celtic Christmas episode, the Celtic Top 20 with the best of the year. There's also a Brother C interview that I'm really excited to share as well. And there's definitely going to be something else. Haven't decided exactly what that's going to be, so I will let you know soon. But I am excited to share music for you for the next month and for the next year. So make sure you send an email to follow at bestcelticmusic.net so you can learn how to subscribe to the podcast and get free music-only episodes. And if you're a Celtic musician, that same email will also get you a free ebook called Celtic Musician's Guide to Digital Music. That's follow@bestcelticmusic.net. I have some usual big plans for Thanksgiving, and I'm really excited to finish out this year. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the Celtic Top 20 because I don't know. I haven't looked at any of the results. That my Todd Wiley, who manages the newsletter Celtic Music Magazine, he's on top of that. So I have no clue what's going to happen. But you do have to get your votes in. You have until December 6th to cast your votes for regular episodes. December 13th will be the last highlight reel when you have to get that in. So after that, I should know. We should all know. Well, actually, you won't know until the 26th of December. So in any case, we kicked off the show with Socks in the Frying Pan from their new album, Waiting for Inspiration. That was Jam Making. Next up is Conor Lamb, Brendan Mulholland, and Deirdre Galway with Clifford's from their album Music in the Glen.
west. And of all the winds that blow, 'tis the one that I like best. For it blows at our backs and it shakes the pennon free. It soon will blow us home to the North Country. And it's home, dearie home. And it's home I want to be. My topsails are hoisted and I am out to sea. The oak and the ash and the bonny birchen tree are all growing green in the North Country. And it's home, dearie home. And it's home I want to be. My topsails are hoisted and I am out to sea.
a busker and a dawn to dusker. He's a rambler and a rover across the land. He's a fighting two-fister, so you better call him mister. He's a blister, is our lad Dan. He's a blather and scythe with a tongue like a knife at the word. He can cut you down to size. At least so full of blarney like a travelling carny Pied Piper with his smiling eyes. Our Dan, he's a man with his heart in his hand, and he'll give you the shirt off his back. But he'd rather make you swoon with a lilting tune and a generous helping of crack. Our lad Dan, diddly-on-diddly, he's a proud Irishman, diddly-on-diddloo. Our Dan, diddly-on-diddly, ain't he grand, diddly-on-diddloo. Our lad Dan. He's a rake, he's a busker, and a dawn to dusker. He's a rambler and a rover across the land. He's a fighting two-fister, so you better call him mister. He's a blister, is our lad Dan. He's a blather and scythe with a tongue like a knife with a word. He can cut you down the size. Well, he's so full of blarney like a travelling carny Pied Piper with his smiling eyes. Our Dan, he's a man with his heart in his hand, and he'll give you the shirt off his back. But he'd rather make you swoon with a lilting tune and a generous helping of crack. Our lad Dan, derry-otten-doodly, he's a proud Irishman, dilly-otten-doodloo. Our Dan, dilly-otten-doodly, ain't he grand, dilly-otten-doodloo. Our lad Dan, dilly-otten-doodly, he's a proud Irishman, dilly-otten-doodloo. Our Dan, dilly-otten-doodly, ain't he grand, dilly-otten-doodloo. Our lad Dan.
After Lamb, Mulholland, and Galway came Cherish the Ladies with 12 Amble, featuring the Ennis Sisters. That's from their album Heart of the Home. Then Ewen Henderson with Coire Gabhail from his album Perception. And we finished the set with Our Lad Dan by Irishtown Road from their album On the One Road. I want your feedback. What are you doing today while listening to the podcast? You can send a written comment along with a picture of what you're doing while listening. Email a voicemail message to CelticPodcast@gmail.com. Yoji emailed on Patreon. Greetings. After listening to the podcast for almost a year, I finally got around to subscribing on Patreon. Apologies it took so long. Though I noticed that with the RSS feed, I no longer get any of the podcast album art when playing, which is especially noticeable since I listen to it regularly on my commute, and my car screen shows a big generic musical note instead of the artwork. Any ideas what I may be doing wrong? Thanks again for an awesome podcast. As I emailed Yoji, apparently that was a problem for a while, and thank you for pointing that out because it was a technical error on Patreon. Apparently, graphics cannot be bigger than 500 kilobytes, just like when you're submitting podcast graphics on Apple Podcasts or whatnot. So the problem has been fixed, and you should be now getting podcast artwork or possibly episode artwork as well when you're listening on Patreon, but I know you'll definitely get the podcast artwork now. So thanks for pointing that out. Again, if you have any suggestions or things that are going wrong that seem odd, you know, why is that not working? Send me an email, follow@bestcelticmusic.net. Darren Mahoney commented on a Patreon post, would like to see more West Coast Irish music content. Sean Dowley, Shams, Stout Pounders, Coming Up Threes, Stark Raving Plaid, Whiskey Dicks. We have some great acts out here. Thank you, Darren. I think I only have permission for one, maybe two of those bands. So, yes, I will reach out to them. But as always, if there's a band that you'd like to hear on the podcast, the absolute best way for that to happen is for you to send an email to the band and say, hey, you should submit your music to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. I want to hear your new album. I want to hear your old album, whatever. It is the best way to do that because bands respond. They want their music heard, and it's a very simple process. All they have to do is go to 4celts.com. That's the number 4celts.com. It goes to a forum where they can submit their music. So contact those bands. I only have permission for like one or two of those. So, and I know there's a lot of great West Coast Irish music acts out there. In fact, I think I had an episode of that a while back. So Charlie O'Brien emailed, hi, Mark. My name is Charlie O'Brien. I'm a folk singer from Killarney. For the past 2 years, I've been in Argentina researching and singing Irish trad songs, printed in a rural paper in Buenos Aires in the late 1800s. Last month, I released an album of these ballads, the Trackless Wild Irish Songs of the Pampa, during a Culture Ireland-sponsored tour of Argentina with trad fiddle player Aidan Connolly. Would be great if you could give a song or two a spin on your podcast. I think you played songs from a previous album of mine, Hi Brazil, a few years back. Birbua. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that. That sounds like a fantastic project. And Charlie did submit music to it. I will try to get it on the show. I think it's going to be in the new year, sadly, because this is the last regular episode that we're going to be putting out for a while, and I think the next episodes are all pretty much planned. But that's okay. I'm going to get it on the podcast. I don't think I have the album Hi Brazil. I have an album by another Celtic artist of that name, but I don't remember seeing that before. So I will double check though, but thank you for submitting the music to the podcast. All right, let's get back to the music. Next up is Adam Agee and John Sousa with Farewell to Glasgow, Maud Millar, The Long Drop, John Knowlton's The Lacaro, and The Easy Club from Swan Try.
lady stands in her own front door as straight as a willow wand. And by there comes a lusty smith with a hammer in his hand. And he said, "Bide, lady, bide, there's nowhere you can hide. For the lusty smith will be your love, and he will lay your pride." Well, may you stand, you lady fair, all in your robes of red. But come tomorrow at this same time, I'll have you in me bed. And he said, "Bide, lady, bide, there's nowhere you can hide. For the lusty smith will be your love, and he will lay your pride." Away, away, you cold blacksmith, would you do me this wrong? To think to have me maidenhead that I have kept so long. I'd rather I was dead and gone and buried in the grave than a lusty, dusty, cold blacksmith me maidenhead should have. So the lady, she held up her hand and she swore upon her soul that she'd not be the blacksmith's love for all of a box of gold. But the blacksmith, he held up his hand and he swore upon the mass, saying, "I'll have ye in me bed, young girl, for the half of that or less." And he said, "Bide, lady, bide, there's nowhere you can hide. For the lusty smith will be your love, and he will lay your pride." She changed into a dove and she flew up in the air. But he became an old cock pigeon and they flew pair and pair. And he said, "Bide, lady, bide, there's nowhere you can hide. For the lusty smith will be your love, and he will lay your pride." So the lady, she changed into a hare and she ran across the plain. But he became a greyhound dog and he ran her down again. And he said, "Bide, lady, bide, there's nowhere you can hide. For the lusty smith will be your love, and he will lay your pride." So she became a little mare as dark as the night was black. But he became a golden saddle and he clung onto her back. And he said, "Bide, lady, bide, there's nowhere you can hide. For the lusty smith will be your love, and he will lay your pride." So she became a hot griddle and he became a cake. And every move that poor girl made, the blacksmith was her mate. And he said, "Bide, lady, bide, there's nowhere you can hide. For the lusty smith will be your love, and he will lay your pride." So she became a full-dressed ship and she sailed upon the sea. But he became a bold captain and aboard of her went he. And he said, "Bide, lady, bide, there's nowhere you can hide. For the lusty smith will be your love, and he will lay your pride." Into the bedroom next ran she, and she changed into a bed. But he became a green coverlet, and he gained her maidenhead. And when she woke he held her so, and still he bade her bide. And the lusty smith became her love for all her lofty pride. And he said, "Bide, lady, bide, there's nowhere you can hide. For the lusty smith will be your love, and he will lay your pride."
to Banbridge Town in the county down one morning in July. Down a boring green came a sweet Colleen, and she smiled as she passed me by. She looked so sweet from her two bare feet to the sheen of her nut brown hair. Such a coaxing elf, I had to shake myself to make sure I was standing there. As she onward sped, he shook his head and he gazed with a feeling queer. And he said he, to a passerby, who's the maid with the nut brown hair? He smiled at him and with pride says he, she's the gem of old Ireland's crown. She's young Rosie McCann from the banks of the Bann. She's the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay down to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town. No maid he'd seen like the sweet Colleen that he met in the county down. Harvest fair, she'll be surely there, and I'll dress in my Sunday clothes, with my hat tucked right and my shoes shone bright, and all for my nut brown rose. No horse I'll yoke, or no pipe I'll smoke, till the rust in my plough turned brown. And a smiling bride by my own fireside sits the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay down to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the brown Colleen that I met in the county down. From Bantry Bay down to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the brown Colleen that I met in the county down.
After Agee and Sousa came Jesse Ferguson with Two Magicians. That's from his album, 10. Then Alexis Chartrand and Nicolas Babineau with Soucy from Écoutez, tous. And we finish up the set with Star of the County Down by Emerald Accent. It's from All of Us. That's the name of their album. Not from All of Us. I've had so much fun singing Star of the County Down with my daughter Inara these past couple weeks. We sang it at Irish Fest Atlanta. We did it at the festival, Conjuration convention here in Atlanta this past weekend, and it was just so much fun. She is just slaying that song, and I can't wait to get a recording of it to share with you, because she's doing a great job. Thank you so much, patrons of the podcast. You are amazing. It is your generosity that brings so much great Celtic music each and every week. Your kindness pays for our engineer, graphic designer, Celtic Music Magazine editor, promotion of the podcast. It allows me to buy the music I play here. It also pays for my time creating the show each and every week. As a patron, you get ad-free episodes before regular listeners. You get to vote in the Celtic Top 20. You get standalone stories. You get a private feed to listen to the show, or you can listen through the Patreon app, all for as little as $1 per month. A special thanks to our Celtic legends, Bruce, Brian McReynolds, Marty Myers, Alan Schindler, Karen D.M. Harris, Emma Bartholomew, Dan McDade, Miranda Nelson, Nancy Barnett, Kevin Long, Gary R. Hook, Linda McNeil, Kelly Garrett, Mike Schock, Annie Lorkowski, and Sean Callie. Patreon did make a big change, which is coming very soon. You no longer make a pledge per episode of the podcast. Instead, you make one set solid pledge per month. Here is your all-new 3-step plan to support the podcast. Number 1, go to our Patreon page. Number 2, decide how much you want to pledge per month. $1, $3, $5, $15, $25. And number 3, keep listening to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast to celebrate Celtic culture through music. You can become a generous patron of the podcast on Patreon at songhinge.com. You can also join me on a Celtic invasion of Galicia in Spain. This is one of the 7 Celtic nations, and I'm excited to take a small group of Celtic music fans on the relaxing adventure of a lifetime. We won't see everything in Galicia, but we will stay in one area. We'll get to know the region through its culture, history, and legends. If you want to find out more, go to celticinvasion.com and sign up to the mailing list. And you can also find some auditory and visual adventures and podcasts and videos and photos. It's all over there at CelticInvasion.com. In fact, I did start posting pictures from my Celtic invasion of the whiskey of Scotland. So if you want to see some of those pictures, those are now, you'll find a link to that over at CelticInvasion.com. Let's get back to the music. Next up is Jimmy and Scots Folk Band with Follow Me Up to Carlow and Swallowtail Jig from the Viking Irishman.
Lift my carry over your face, Brody, nor the old disgrace. The Blackfoot Williams turned the place, drove it to the fern. Grace of victory was sure, some the fire and hit secure, until we met a Glen Millar with Fig McHugh a burn. Curse and swear, Lord Kildare, Fick will do what Fick will dare. Now Fitzwilliam have a care, for the knees of Stallow. Up with halberd, out with sword, on we'll go for by the Lord. Fig McHugh has given the word, follow me up to Carlow. The sword of Blenny May, flashing o'er the English bay. See all the children at the gate, beneath the burning banners. Roster of the fighting stock, would you let an English cock crow out upon an Irish rock? Fly up and ditch your manners. Curse and swear, Lord Kildare, Fick will do what Fick will dare. Now Fitzwilliam have a care, for the knees of Stallow. Up with halberd, out with sword, on we'll go for by the Lord. Fick McHugh has given the word, follow me up to Carlow. A stream of Saxon gore, Grady's Rory, Olgamore, Sandy Lumstead, Hades, White is sick and grey is bled. Now for Black Fitzwilliam said, we send it all the dripping red, Liza and her ladies. Curse and swear, Lord Kildare, Phil will do what Phil will dare. Now Fitzwilliam have a care, for the knees of Stallow. Up with halberd, out with sword, on we go for by the Lord. Fig McHugh was given the word, follow me up to Carlow. Follow me up to Carlow.
Fading on the horizon, my Ireland seemed to say goodbye to all my native sons, wherever you may roam. A child of air and never walks alone. Far away, far away, far away from our home, ever to wander, forever to roam. Far away, far away, far away from our home, ever to wander, forever to roam.
Well, there were 3 gypsies that come to my door. Downstairs ran this lady, oh. One sang high, the other sang low. The other sang Bonnie, Bonnie Biscay, oh. She pulled off her silken gown, put on hose of leather, oh, and ragged, ragged rags about the door. She's away with the raggle-taggle gypsies, oh. Late that night, the Lord came home, inquiring for his lady, oh. The servants said at every hand, she's away with the raggle-taggle gypsies, oh. So saddle me, my milk white steed, saddle me, my pony, oh. Tonight I ride to see my bride, she's away with the raggle-taggle gypsies, oh. He rode high and he rode low, he rode through woods and copses, oh, until he came to a wide open field. There he spied his lady, oh. Last night you slept in a goose feather bed, sheets turned down so bravely, oh. Tonight you lie in the cold open field, along with the raggle-taggle gypsies, oh. What care I for a goose feather bed? The sheets turned down so bravely, oh. Tonight I lie in a wide open field, along with the raggle-taggle gypsies, oh. How can you leave your house and your land? How can you leave your money, oh? How can you leave your new wedded lord to run with the raggle-taggle gypsies, oh? What care I for my house and my land? What care I for money, oh? What care I for my new wedded lord? I'm away with the raggle-taggle gypsies, oh. For my house and my land, what care I for money, oh? Tonight I lie in the cold open field in the arms of my raggle-taggle gypsy, oh,
In 1841 I put my corduroy breeches on to work upon the railway. Feel me, oh me, oh ray, feel me, oh me, oh ray, feel me, oh me, oh ray, to work upon the railway. In 1842 I left the old world for the new, and that's the luck brought me through working on the railway. Feel me, oh me, oh ray, feel me, oh me, oh ray, feel me, oh me, oh ray, to work upon the railway. In 1843 'twas that I met sweet Biddy McGee and a wonderful wife, Biddy and me were working on the railway. Feel me, oh me, oh ray, feeling me, oh me, oh ray, feeling me, oh me, oh ray, to work upon the railway. In 1845 I felt myself more dead than alive, I felt myself more dead than alive, working on the railway. nothing but my old straw hat wall pads upon the railway. Feel me, oh, ray, feel me, oh, ray, feel me, oh, ray, to work upon the railway. In 1847, Biddy McGee went to heaven and she let me walk in. Left me 11 while working on the railway. Feeding me, oh, ray, feeding me, oh, ray, feeding me, oh, ray, to work upon the railway. In 1848, I learned to drink my whiskey straight. It's an elegant drink, can't be beat for working on the railway. Feeding me, oh, ray, feeding me, oh, ray, feeding me, oh, ray, to work upon the railway.
Thank you.
After Jimmy and Scott's folk band came Maggie's Wake with Gross Isle Far Away from their album Maggie's Wake. Then Charlie Rutan with Raggle Taggle Gypsies featuring Sylvia Platypus. That's from his album Urban Village Piping. And we finish up the set with Pat Works on the Railway by River Drivers from their album Live at Steel Stacks. All right, we are all done with this episode and the last episode that you can vote for in the Celtic Top 20. There's no more voting for the rest of the year. Well, that's not true. You have until December 6th to cast your votes, and December 13th, cast your votes in the highlight reels if you are a patron. So if you want to help find the best songs and artists this year, you can vote for as many songs and tunes that inspire you in each episode. Your vote helps me create this year's Best Celtic Music of 2024 episode. You don't have long to vote, so go listen and cast your vote as soon as possible. We're going to finish up the set with the Langers Ball. This is It Feels Good, and it does feel good to thank you for all your support this year and into the future. This is the end of 19 years of the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. I guess it's going to be the summer officially when the podcast turns 20. But wow, thank you so much. It feels great to have you here each and every week. And I hope you have a wonderful, safe Thanksgiving. Sláinte. Here's the Langers Ball.
Shot in the dark and I'm over the moon, and drinks will be here soon. Double shots of whiskey on a sunny afternoon. Drinking in the day at the regular saloon. Yeah, it feels good. Claire's on the corner alone with her porter, and Tom's grabbing another round. A chill in the air and I'm keenly aware that we're all here getting plowed. Stories and jokes and little white lies, a song erupts in the crowd. Oh yeah. Big pints enough to get you drowned. Hanging with our crew on the shady part of town. Yeah, it feels good. Now the sun is setting, and I am betting that someone will buy me a beer. The band starts a diddle, guitar and a fiddle, tin whistle and a balladeer. There's no place I'd rather be than here. Yeah, it feels good. You're with us. Come on down to the public house. Sing or scream and shout. Yeah, it feels good.
The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast is produced by Mark Gundy Celtfather and our patrons on Patreon. The show is edited by Mitchell Peterson with graphics by Miranda Nelson Designs. Visit our website to follow the show. You'll find a link to all the artists played in this episode. Todd Wiley is the editor of the Celtic Music Magazine. Subscribe to get 34 Celtic MP3s for free, plus you'll get 7 weekly news items about what's happening with Celtic music and culture online. Best of all, you will connect with your Celtic heritage. Please tell one friend about this podcast. Word of mouth is the absolute best way to support any creative endeavor. Finally, remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, and talk with others about climate change. This is the only way we will make a significant change to climate policies. So please start talking today. Promote Celtic culture through music at CelticMusicPodcast.com.